Phillip Rivers joked with Troy Aikman, I'm probably the only guy that ever threw for 120 yards and got a Hemi Award, but I think that's probably right. But on this night, he throws for 277 and a couple of touchdowns, gave his team a chance, a fighting chance until the very end. Here are the thoughts from the 44-year-old Colts quarterback.
I think it's as simple, and Shane said it in the locker room, as we signed up for 17. Obviously, I didn't sign up for all 17 of them, but yeah, you signed up for 17. And I just remember having to live that in years past. It's our job, to stick and bring it and give everything we got in every game, whatever game you're in, regardless of the situation. And that's to me the matter of fact route. The other part of it is this is the National Football League, and you've all been as a kid. And if someone asked you again, would you play if y'all were going to be 2-14 like some of these teams are? If you had 2 games left, heck yeah, what do you mean we get to play an NFL football game again? So those are the 2 simplest routes to take, but it's first and foremost our job to go stick and do the work we've been asked to do, and we've come up short, but what we've been asked to do is give our best effort, and so that's what has to be done these next few days of preparation, which are a short week with Christmas on Thursday, and then a division opponent that's on fire right now, so we'll have to bounce back in a hurry. I'm torn of how to express it because it's been a blast. It's been a blast to prepare and to go stick and get ready and go out there and warm up and do all that with these guys again. But again, the name of the game is not, go have a good time. It's to help find a way to lead your team to win. And we've come up short here these first 2. But I've been a part of less percentage chances of getting in and got in before. So. You'll certainly won't hear me losing hope here as we prepare next week.
Ryan Clark alongside, as he is every Monday night. Hey, he didn't play defense, man. It's not his fault. Not his fault. The Colts defense couldn't get off the field. The main focus of your tape tonight is going to be on what Purdy did.
Yeah.
But first, I'm interested in what you saw tonight from Phillip Rivers.
First off, 2 things. Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
And number 2, if he ever decides that he doesn't want to coach high school ball, he can be a head coach in the NFL whenever he wants to. He's a leader of men. But more importantly, I was so skeptical when he decided to come back because I thought about me 5 years after football. I thought about myself at 44. That's not Phillip Rivers. That sort of will, that understanding of offensive play, being able to anticipate what the defense is giving you, but the ability to inspire, the ability to raise the level of the people around you. When I talked to Zaire Franklin before the game, he said Daniel Jones had done so much for this team and he's still around. But if anybody else had to come here and replace him, it could only be somebody like Phillip Rivers. And that's not based on what that man did in 2008 or what that man did in 2010. That's based on who Phillip Rivers is today. And those kids he talked about that he's in charge of as a head coach in high school.
How lucky are they?
Maybe last week they could have been a little bit skeptical and say, you know what? Coach just went out there and did it. He wasn't scared. This week they can say Coach went out and he excelled. Coach gave his team an opportunity to win.
Wisdom and perspective of an old man and still the ability to play it with younger men.
Man.
Really impressive. The stage, though, tonight belonged to Brock Purdy, who had a 5-touchdown game. What most impressed you about his performance?
The thing is, the way that Brock Purdy understands what Kyle Shanahan wants him to do, yet can still improvise on top of it and make plays. He's just such a daring thrower of the football. Here you're going to see him use both of his top targets. We're going to get George Kittle, and he's going to run up the field on the corner, and we're going to get Christian McCaffrey to the flat. Now, Brock Purdy's going to get out, and he's going to boot, which is going to get him outside the pocket, and they'll be working on the deep safety here, Cam Bynum. Now, as you watch the play start, it's going to be a great job by the Indianapolis Colts because they're playing a cloud coverage which matches up perfectly with everything. When you get to this point, if you're Brock Purdy, you see right now that George Kittle is covered. He's basically bracketed inside and out. George and Brock have such a telepathy in the way that they play that he's going to work here and he's going to settle within the zone and watch Brock Purdy find him and hit him with the ball while he's rolling out. George Kittle comes back to the football to be quarterback friendly and catches it in between Bynum and Nick Cross. Now, This right here is just perfect diagramming and schematics by Kyle Shanahan and execution by Christian McCaffrey, the outside wide receiver Jennings, and Brock Purdy. We're going to get up the field here, and Christian McCaffrey's going to work up and to the out. The two people that we need to focus on is here, the corner, who's going to be playing cloud, and the inside hook defender, who will be working inside out on Christian McCaffrey. Now, as the play starts, you see it again, it's going to be red too. So the corner on the outside needs to have vision to Christian McCaffrey. If we pause it right here, the corner, if he was paying attention, he'd be looking inside to Christian McCaffrey, and he'd be able to fall off, understanding that the hook defender isn't going to get whiffed. He continues to go up the football field with the wide receiver, which is going to give Christian McCaffrey all the room that he needs to get out here, and it's going to be a perfect throw on time by Brock Purdy.
I mean,
this right here, though, Scott, is Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy having a perfect understanding of what they want to do, but also how they want to attack whatever defense they were getting from Lou Anarumo in the red zone, which he knew would be red too because of all the injuries at the corner position.
I'm going to save this question for next week in Atlanta because it has to do with who you like best in the NFC. We're going to see the Rams.
Yeah.
You got Seattle in the mix, but we've also got this San Francisco team who could very well be the 1 seed. By the time I see you in Atlanta, we will have had Christmas. Please send my love to your beautiful family and
Merry
enjoy
Christmas,
Christmas
man.
with
Thank
your
you
family.
so much, brother. Same to you.
My guy, Ryan
Yes, sir.
Clark. Look forward to seeing him in Atlanta. More on this win from Indianapolis as San Francisco, a point shy of their name. Their offense just could not be stopped. They win by shooting to it's like they've been hiding in plain sight all year. We've talked about plenty of other teams in the NFC, but if they play like this, offensively like this, how do you assess their chances in a fairly wide open season in the National Football League?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the part of it that you need to focus on, and that is that it does feel wide open in the NFC. It feels wide open in the whole league. I mean, this has been a tough year to figure week to week, and it feels like the 49ers are getting hot. Their quarterback is getting hot. He's getting healthier as the season goes on with a bad toe. And if they play like this on offense, remember, they're playing without Pearsall, their big threat on the outside. Kittle was great tonight. They got the ground game going with McCaffrey. The offensive line has played really well. Purdy's been awesome. They get Tatum Bethune back in the middle of their defense. There's a lot to be happy about if you're a 49er fan right now. They're going to be tough to beat. They'll be tough for Chicago on Sunday night, and then they're pointed right for that Week 18 matchup against Seattle at home.
Troy, we're always interested in your perspective on the quarterback position for obvious reasons, and we got quite a show from both tonight. Purdy throws 5 touchdown passes, and what Phillip Rivers did, you mentioned it on our show and you mentioned it at the end of the broadcast, just proud of what you've seen from your peer and the quarterback fraternity. How would you assess the quarterback play tonight?
Oh, I thought both quarterbacks played great. I don't know how you could watch this game and conclude anything other than that. And for Phillip Rivers, I think if you had told Shane Steichen and this organization that he would go out and do what he did, they would have thought they would have had a real good chance of winning this game. But unfortunately for them offensively, which has kind of been the problem for them after the 10th game of the season, they've been unable to run the football with Jonathan Taylor. They got banged up in the offensive line, and then, of course, the defense just really didn't show up tonight for them in order to slow down San Francisco whatsoever. But Phillip Rivers was phenomenal. There's not a lot of guys. I mean, there's not a lot of guys who have tried it, one. But
right.
To be out of the game for 5 years and be at his age and come out and do what he's done. And Joe talked about it early in the ball game. I think the one thing for Phillip was that he didn't want to embarrass himself, and he had to get comfortable with that first and foremost. He certainly did not embarrass himself. He inspired a lot of people out there to go follow their dreams and don't be scared. And I thought he played great tonight.
Scott, I don't know if you're gonna. I have not bounced this off Troy yet, but I think in kind of a strange way. You know, I know it resets his Hall of Fame voting and the Hall of Fame clock, and it pushes it back 5 more years. He was a semifinalist this year. I think him coming back actually helps him because people have come out of the woodwork talking about how much they respect Phillip Rivers throughout this league, and he's had an unbelievable career. He just never won the Super Bowl, and I just think it's been one team, one player, one head coach talking about Phillip Rivers. And even though that clock restarts for number 17, I think it may help his Hall of Fame candidacy.
Well, there's plenty of quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame that hadn't won Super Bowls, so I think we'll see Phillip there in 5 years from now.
That's interesting perspective. I agree with both of you. You can distinguish yourself in defeat. He certainly did. Purdy, though, even better tonight. 5 touchdowns. We'll see a guy that's been cooking with gas next week in Atlanta, and Matthew Stafford with the Rams. You guys have a fantastic Christmas with your